Revenger. Check it out on Netflix. I'm giving it a strong Shaka thumbs up. Remember our rating scale. Shaka thumbs up. It's bad to see. I don't recommend it. Shaka thumbs down. Oh, wait. Shaka thumbs up. It's bad to see. I recommend it. Shaka thumbs down. It's bad to see. It's junk. I don't recommend it. And for Revenger, it is a Shaka thumbs up all the way. I don't know if they'll do a sequel to this movie. If they do, you'll definitely want to check it out. Hopefully, here in the American audience at least, we will see more of Bruce Kwan because he is outstanding as an actor, as an action star there in Korea, and definitely as a martial artist from what we've seen in this movie. Again, if you like things like John Wick and The Raid, highly recommend. Aloha. It's Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And this is a little late. This is a Netflix show, a Netflix movie that I had watched about 2 weeks ago that I don't think is getting very much notice. For those who I have recommended it to just personally, they said they have liked it. It is definitely action-packed, and that is Netflix's Revenger. I saw the trailer for this on Netflix, and I knew right off I wanted to see it. This came out, again, just maybe 2 weeks ago, around the first week of July. On Netflix. Apparently, it had come out in South Korea back in 2018. I really don't think it came here to Hawaii at all, which is a terrible shame because this is a wonderful action-packed, studded movie. Think of The Raid, but just a little bit lighter in tone. The Raid Part 1. And now this stars Bruce Kwan, Park Hee-soon, Jeon So-jin, and Kim In-kwan. Now, Bruce Kwan is our hero, and this is directed by the South Korean action director Lee Sung-won. And let me just say that Bruce Kwan does a fabulous job in this, performing all these martial art moves. Everything that looks, fairly like, a mix of Taekwondo, Thai kickboxing, and definitely some Kendo, as there is a magnificent katana sword fight in this movie that really caught my eye and said, hey, I got to see this movie, because that part was in the trailer. Just a little snippet of this katana fight, and I was sold. But like I say, Bruce Kwan does a magnificent job and definitely, plays the traditional action hero, the silent, lone good guy against the horde or the banditos of bad guys, So it is very much in the line of a Western type movie. You could think of it like that. Your standard revenge plot. So if you've liked anything like John Wick, you'll definitely enjoy Revenger. And on Netflix, since you're not paying to go see it in the theater, and if you have Netflix already, you might as well watch it, especially if you love action martial arts. Now, basically, Bruce Kwan stars as a police officer whose family was killed by this vicious, ruthless criminal who he had captured, kind of tortured, in fact, when he did capture him. But yet that wasn't enough for him because he survived the torture and was imprisoned on this penal island somewhere off the shores of South Korea, most likely, where these criminals basically roam free and rule themselves. And of course, you know, being this big bad guy, he takes over everyone over there. And but yet, so it is Bruce Kwan's plan to get captured by the police himself, do, you know, crimes. Possibly, you know, it's kind of unclear. So maybe he was, you know, imprisoned due to what he had done to this villain, you know, this torturing, and that got him thrown off the force. But either way, he is imprisoned also on this island, and thus getting there, he seeks out his revenge to kill, you know, the man that killed his daughter, his son, and his wife. And let me just say, from the get-go, you know, it is action-packed. He steps onto this beach as he is just thrown, apparently from some boat, and floats up on the island, and comes across these bad guys that, you know, part of the gang working for, you know, the man who had killed his family, and he just takes them out just like that. He is magnificent in this role. Again, if you like that kind of unstoppable martial arts action, but, you know, again, you know, he isn't totally unstoppable. You know, there are, you know, people in the gang that are tough enough to give him an extreme amount of trouble, but ultimately, like very much like an anime, he, you know, can only truly be kind of bested by the ultimate, you know, boss, the man that he's there to get. And watching that fight scene is fabulous, as well as every other single one in this movie. Along the way, he befriends some of the lesser criminals, those maybe the thieves, you know, not people who had killed anybody and just wish to live there in peace, but have come under the, you know, subjugated rule of this main bad guy that he himself, you know, Bruce Kwan, as a police officer, had imprisoned there. Definitely, you'll want to check this out when you can, if you can, on Netflix. Runtime is about, you know, 90 minutes, so it won't take all your evening. Again, it is action-packed. The only bad thing I see about this, it is a South Korean film, so there are subtitles. However, some of the characters do speak in broken English, which, you know, which I don't mind, you know, subtitles. Actually, you know, I prefer subtitles, and I think it would have been better if this had just stayed totally in subtitles. Because once you're geared towards that, you're watching the action, you're reading the subtitles, and then somebody speaks English, and for whatever reason, when they speak that English, they do so very subtly and very silently. Maybe, you know, when it was dubbed over, you know, in the audio booth later, they just didn't speak up loud enough, but you can barely hear them. So that kind of distracts you, and you have to kind of rewind it a little bit, you know, go back on Netflix to hear what he said, and then, you know, maybe the response will be in Korean and you read that. But I think since you were already geared towards reading most of the subtitles anyways, I think they should have just kept it in that. But to try to maybe grab a larger audience, for the American audience, they went ahead and decided to do some of the characters, some of their lines in English, which again, just for most of them, unfortunately, is recorded far too low to really hear. So you either turn up the TV to get what they're saying when they just happen to say it, because you don't know if he's going to speak English, broken English, or, you know, go to the subtitled English subtitles with Korean, you know, in there, which is a little distracting. And then you're also trying to watch the action, but then, you know, because of the action, the bone-splitting, breaking sound effects any explosions, any gunshots, you know, are going to be like super loud because you just turned it up to hear this guy's English portion of the dialogue. So, you know, I found that a little distracting and off-putting, taking me out a little bit of the film. But other than that, that is the only, you know, mark on this movie that I would say. Again, if you love action, you know, martial arts movies, this is a must-see. Revenger all the way. All right, thank you so much. And this is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, saying aloha.